Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers from on Von Radio's Facebook and YouTube channels, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. It is always a pleasure to be here with you, and it is a beautiful day here on Nevis. I know that the past few days have had several showers, and at some points people are wondering, is the day going to be cancelled? Do we get to stay home? But today it is sunny and it is beautiful, and we want to, of course, at the beginning of the show say good morning to DeAndre, and of course Auntie Vanny, good morning to you as well. I know that you are listening, and so we're wishing you both a very productive day this morning. Well, we have so many things happening all around in education. We have our students are out, our teachers are out, but we're going to speak a little bit about it later on. But this morning, I think I want to start off very early by explaining, because I have on my St. Kitts Nevis shirt, and persons might be wondering, those who can see me, might be wondering what's going on there. Well, I can wear it any day because I am a proud citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, so I can wear it any day. But we have a special guest in studio with us this morning, and I want to start off by welcoming her to the studios and allowing her to introduce herself.
Good morning. My name is Janelle Nisbet, and it's a pleasure to be here with Miss Claxton this morning. I've been here before. I am a teacher currently at the Gingerland Secondary School, and I was just recently given a Patriotism Award, so I'm here with Miss Claxton to discuss what that is all about, and I'm just ready for the conversation.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Nisbet. Of course, we know that you, as you said, you were here before.
Yes.
You're no stranger to the studios of Von Radio. You're not no stranger to Youth on the Go.
Not at all.
And as we develop and grow, I think one of the most important things is that we are patriotic. And so we're going to start off there. We want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
And Ms. Nisbet was awarded the Patriotism Award from the Department of Youth Impact Award Program. And she, of course, will tell us a bit about what she does in the community. We know some of it because she has been here promoting some of the things that she's done over time and sharing as well. But we're going to start off finding out a bit about what do you do in the community?
Okay, so for me, patriotism isn't just about wearing the colors. I mean, I do have a lot of colors. I don't have my shirt on today, but I have numerous. So I think our flag is the best looking flag in the world. But I do think the biggest part of patriotism is actually contributing to the country that you live in and aiding in developing it holistically. So in my profession, that's one of the reasons why I went into teaching. I feel like this is one of the best ways to put back into the community. Teaching children is essentially shaping the future that we want to see, and I enjoy doing that. But outside of my profession, I've been involved in community service in about every sphere of society, because I think community service is integral to development. So I've been in St. Kitts and Nevis. I've been a CARICOM Youth Ambassador. I served in that position from 2015 to 2017, and during that post I spearheaded a few projects along with my colleagues. One in particular I spearheaded in Nevis was called One Full Basket. Yes, that was a really nice project where we went around, and the idea was that if everyone contributes a little bit, then we can help those less fortunate in our community. So we went around door to door during Christmas season, and we requested non-perishable items, and you just had to donate one. But the spirit of Nevis is such that people went inside and brought out entire grocery bags filled, and we were able to pack those into some really big, nice baskets, and we did 5, and we selected a single mother in each community to distribute those to for the Christmas season. So that's just one area that I've contributed to. Recently, last week, I was part of the coastal cleanup. The environment is very important, and sometimes we neglect it a bit, so I'm advocating that we throw our trash in the bins place. We had a lot of garbage collected, but that was a really good experience as well. So those are like recent, but I could keep going.
I know that you recently had a patriotism challenge as well.
Oh yes,
and I think that was very fun and interactive, and you got persons to see that patriotism, like you said, isn't something about just simply wearing colors, which wearing colors is fine.
Yes.
But you got persons involved to see that every little thing that you do, even if it seems small, can play a big part in the development of the country. So tell us a bit about that challenge.
Right. So this was before I was given this award. This was actually one of the reasons why somebody called me and was like, you should be nominated for this award. But this, at the beginning of the month of September, I was like, okay, I want to do something to mark the anniversary of our independence. I want to do it in a different way. So we all know that these challenges on Facebook are becoming more and more popular, especially after we had to quarantine for so long. So I decided to put forward a challenge where I would complete 2 acts of service, nothing big, just 2 small acts of service per day, until I reached to 37 acts of service in honor of our 37th anniversary. And I would also nominate individuals to perform, at least 1 act of service as well. So some of these acts included like just picking up garbage one day that I saw on the street, and next day, it might have been buying someone a drink who, someone on the street in town, they were thirsty, just buy them a drink. One other instant, it's like I saw someone's money drop, they're about to leave, so I got to at least run after them, call them back for that. We had another one which I felt good about, and I felt glad to help. Like I was on a bus with an elderly lady, and she was really worried about jumping off without having the money to pay. And that's something that we need to look into as well, because I don't feel like the elderly in our community should be worried about something as simple as that. We were just chatting on the bus ride, and she was like, I don't know how it's gonna work, kind of thing. And then I was just like, oh, that's fine, I'll just take care of it. But that shouldn't even be an issue in the community. But generally, I really don't like self-promotion, so this challenge was iffy to me most of the time. I just do things, but we're in the social media era, and so sometimes it's good to promote, to inspire other people to get on board.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to zero in on, I think that I wish you would be able to remember the name of that lady or who she was, because the seniors division at the Department of Social Services actually has a program that was launched a few years ago that assists. In that program, they assist elderly with bus as long as as long as the bus fare, as long as they would have a card and be able to. I can't quite remember the process in itself, but that's something that exists.
Yeah, I know too. I know that exists as well. So I think it might have been a case where I'm not sure if there's a buy-in across the board for all the busmen.
Okay.
So she was a little worried about if that
one
bus was going to give any problems. But I do remember that program. I don't remember her name, unfortunately. But I did learn that there's a place called Montserrat Village.
Yes.
That's where she said she was from.
Yes. Right over in Prospect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, Montserrat Village. And that was interesting, yeah.
Yes. So, but I think that what came out from the challenge for me was that the heart of a patriot is truly what our forefathers many years ago, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, that was just their way of life. And so because we've lost some of that country above self and love of others, and maybe not love of, but showing acts of kindness towards others, we in some regards, the reality is that we would tend to say, let him take care of himself and let her take care of herself. But if, just a smile, just if somebody drops the money, our good conscience would be to follow the person and give it back. But there are some people who would slip it into their pockets.
Exactly.
And so for me, what the activity promoted was, as I said, the traditions and the core of who we are as citizens and as residents of St. Kitts and Nevis, the core of who we are as a people. And so acts of kindness, moral acts, they make us truly proud to be affiliated, associated with St. Kitts and Nevis. Jana, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Sugar City, St. Kitts. Keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. An hour passes quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channels, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and every Saturday we are here with you, and this Saturday is no different. And as I said, it's a beautiful day here on Nevis, and on Youth on the Go we just don't bring you the sunshine, we bring the entire sun. And guess who coined that? Our guest. She coined that a couple of years ago when she was here, and we were talking about, the beautiful sunshine, and she said, well, we'll bring the entire sun. And so we've been using that for ever since. And we have her in the studio with us, our very special guest, who's not so much of a guest, almost family.
Family.
Yes.
Only family.
Yes. Miss Janelle Nisbet. Some persons might know you as Merville.
Merville, yes. The people that I went to school with, they know me as Merville, but at some point in my adult life, I kind of rebranded and went with my middle name, which is Janelle, because I had, on every school letter, all the way through high school, it said, your son. Oh, my.
Oh!
Your son and his.
Oh, so, yeah, okay. All right, so you rebranded.
Yes.
Okay, but some persons might know you as Merville Nisbet, and we want to commend and congratulate you for your work in really building the community. And, our students right now are studying, I know at the grade 6, they're studying national heroes versus nation builders. And so when they look at persons like you who are really making a contribution, not just in terms of education in your career path, but making a contribution in ensuring that we attain some of our sustainable development goals, and that we see that our country and I think anybody who lives here needs to be able to celebrate the merits of the country. And one of the things that I know that I always rally for is that when I go to, and we've been to Jamaica.
Yes.
You were in Trinidad?
Yes, in 2015, yes.
Yes. And so when you go to some of the countries throughout the region, you would see that deep sense of pride. The United States, they see the flag, and everybody's in awe, and they stop. The national anthem is being sung. Nobody moves. They make sure that they stand in position, honoring their flag and the national anthem. And we want our students, our young people, our older people, everyone to really feel that same sense of pride.
I feel like growing up, that was embedded in me. Like I remember in primary school and such, the national anthem is playing. If a mosquito is biting you, you don't even swat that.
No.
So I still have that embedded in my core. It's only now I'm seeing a little deviation, but I feel like for the most part, all the millennials and back, we still honor those same principles. So if our children now are not, we are failing because they're learning from us. So we have to transfer that knowledge that was passed on to us. That's what I'm trying to do, a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time. So how do you think the support and the reception has been from the community in terms of the various activities that you've done to promote the sense of national pride?
The response from the community is always very good, actually. I forgot to mention one of the most recent projects even, which was the Dot Up Your Finger. I worked on that in collaboration with Joy Napier. So that was our campaign to go out and promote going out and vote and letting your voice be heard. It wasn't a campaign for any party. It was just a campaign to go do your thing, leave your mark, contribute to your country, contribute to how you want to see it develop. We were also advocating against corruption in terms of politics, vote buying and just voting along your family lines. We wanted to actively engage the community in discussions about, why go out and vote? And if you're not planning to, why not? So that these issues can be compiled and they can probably be addressed in the future. Because that's one of your most essential, crucial rights, and it's also one of your greatest responsibilities. So we just wanted to attack that, and we're hoping to continue, especially coming up to the local elections going forward. We want to expand the movement. We went on the towns, we talked to individuals, we went to some businesses, and it was really good feedback. I actually got a message while I was talking to someone weeks, actually might have been months after, and they were like, I wasn't planning to vote, but I guess after I saw you guys, I was like, why not? And if I reach one person, as far as I'm concerned, it was a success.
Yes. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I know that you, as a patriot, as somebody who takes care of your country and looks out for the country, you have been doing a lot, and I did follow that campaign as well. And I know that persons could have easily misunderstood it as a political campaign.
Right.
And I know it wasn't, because
it was not.
Because at no point did you, from when I was following, did I see vote one way or the other.
We didn't.
And
we put all the colors on our shirts. We put all the colors in our posters. We
put the national flag in there.
National flag was in there. Prior to that, either of us had associated public with any party, publicly or privately. Our vote was private prior to that campaign, because we wanted to run it objectively at that point. And then we also decided that, we've participated in that aspect of the process. Now it's time to go and actually work on election day. So both of us went into the polling stations and worked. Yes, I was a clerk, and Ms. Napier was the returning officer. So that was a good experience to see the workings from the inside. So when next time when we go out now, I'm more confident. People are like, they're cheating in there. So I can confidently go out and say, boy, if they managed to cheat in there, then everybody was in on it, because it's a really intense process with checks and balances. So it's difficult. So it's good to get involved. You can volunteer as well. They normally send out calls if you want to see how the process works, so that you can trust it better.
I like that, and as I said, that's a major part of being patriotic
Right.
as well. And I want to commend the Department of Youth, of course, for highlighting you and for putting the call out there for the September Youth Impact Awards
Right.
in patriotism. I know that you recently completed a course in Women in Politics.
Yes.
It was a regional program.
Yes.
Tell me how that would have guided your decision, or did it impact your decision to launch that Tip Your Finger campaign?
The Women in Leadership course was actually after the WPP campaign.
Okay.
Yes, so it's just that I saw it being advertised, and it's Women in Leadership and Politics, and it seemed like the really interesting program to try and be a part of. So it was a strict application process. We had to submit videos and mini essays before we approved, and 27 of us were selected from across the region, and it was just good to interact with women who are trying to make a change. It's not necessarily everybody's trying to run for elections. It's just women who are trying to advocate for different issues that are often overlooked, because if you don't live it, you don't recall it. You can't remember it when you're making policies, and our governments are male dominated, so we have to advocate from whatever positions we're in, and that program helped to point out some other avenues to advocate and how to properly build our networks and different things along that line. So that might have been one of the motivators for the patriotism campaign online again. They did emphasize, a public presence in social media and stuff, although I'm working on myself and, promoting myself, because it's always been a little taboo for me, but I understand the value, as I said.
And so the big question for me is that as the almost a trajectory in which your life is taking, in terms of being patriotic, is it, do you think that being an advocate is an important part of advocate, whether it be politically an advocate or in any other avenue, like you said, leading? Is that an integral part of being a patriot?
I do believe so. There's so many issues plaguing your communities, so it's good to advocate for something. There must be something that you're passionate about, that you want to advocate for community cleanups, or against pollution, or against child abuse, against domestic violence. The community isn't perfect. We love it, and Nevis and St. Kitts and Nevis is the best country in the world. We love it, but we have our problems just like other places. So you have to advocate in order to see change. And I've always been an advocate for whatever. And another issue with advocating, you shouldn't feel the need that if someone is advocating for one issue, to feel like they have to advocate for everything. Sometimes that's a problem. You start advocating for one thing and people are like, but why aren't you advocating for this? There's enough of us in society to advocate for different causes. If you're passionate about it, start the advocacy and you will gain supporters. You might make a change. I think that's important.
So with that level of passion, and there are people who are looking around, we know in our community, we have people. It's almost a cultural norm. But when you see issues, or you see problems, or you see gaps, or you see shortcomings, that you talk about it with your friends or in a corner, but you never go public because you are somewhat afraid.
Right.
And I think that what I'm getting from you is that it's important to be able to speak out if you're passionate enough.
Right,
about
be
something.
passionate, but also be respectful. You have to learn how to advocate respectfully. You don't have to agree with what everybody's saying. You don't have to agree with the path that they're taking. But when you're disagreeing, especially in public forums, all the time, but especially in public forums, you have to know how to do things respectfully. It doesn't get you anywhere to just curse at someone. That doesn't make them receptive at all. So if you want real change, advocate, point out the issues, show the support, the evidence to support that this is a real issue, make some suggestions. You can't just say, this is a problem, fix it. You have to also start thinking about ways to address the issue, especially if you are experiencing it firsthand or you see it right next to you.
And I think that is what we miss. As I said, I deliberately wore this shirt and for us to understand that yes, you can physically wear your country, the pride for your country,
Right.
but I think the most important part for the real true development of your country goes beyond the physical. It's like,
Yes.
you tell a child beauty on the inside is more important than beauty on the inside. It's the same thing. Having that sense of community and pride for country on the inside, and like you said, advocating is
Right.
more important than even just wearing the shirt. Even though
Definitely.
the wearing the shirt is a manifestation
Yes.
of.
So you
of
showcase that.
internal-
I always do
Yes,
that.
yes.
Oh, and I want to give a shout out to the Independence Colors program that were happening prior to independence as well. That was a program put on by one of the ministries. Fortunately, I'm not sure which ministry, but I was just happy to get on board.
I know.
Every day they had a color of the national flag that you were supposed to wear. Did all my days. Loved the colors. Loved the pictures. It was a great initiative.
Yes, and I loved it as well. And at our office, our entire office, we did it every day. So we
Yes.
participated as well at the Department of Education. And the last day, on the Friday, we had to go to a workshop in
yeah.
St. Kitts. And so when we walked into the room, we had all the education officials across the Federation, and everyone had on their color for
Oh,
that day.
nice.
And I thought, I was like, wow,
It's pride.
Yes, it
I
is a
mean,
good
outward
idea.
is a good representation of what you feel as well. So don't feel like you have to put away all
No, no,
your
no, no,
lovely
definitely not.
looking paraphernalia
Mm,
because
not.
they're amazing looking.
Yes. Okay, Janelle, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channels, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zanella Claxton from the Department of Education, and I have with us our family, repeat guest,
Yes.
Miss Janelle Nisbet, and she is here as the recipient of the 2020 Youth Impact Award in the area of patriotism. And I think, Janelle, to be honest, because of all the work that you're doing, you could almost be able to win most of the months. But we know we're going to leave it open for persons to be able to access. There are lots of young people doing great work in the community, and it doesn't hurt at all that you are a teacher.
It does
and
not.
so I think that, like you said at the beginning of the show, it provides a wonderful platform through which you can share your love for country. And just for information, I know that you also received you graduated last year.
Oh yes, I graduated last year, 2019. Yes, my Bachelor's of the Arts in History with a minor in Anthropology.
Nice. And so, how do you think that you can use history to be able to show or to teach your children history, English, any of those subjects, to be able to teach our children the importance of patriotism?
Currently, I teach English, literature, history, and social studies.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it's a dynamic set of subjects. So those are actually very integral. First of all, the history is helping to address how our countries came into being, how the people that are here ended up here, why we have the different political systems that we have, why we have the social systems that we have, why we have the economy that we have. It's all reflected in our history and how we started to develop as a nation. So I try to pass on that information. Knowing it can help you to avoid the same mistakes and can help you to build on the success of the past and to understand the mindset and conditioning of the population that has been happening for centuries. So you have to understand in order to plan. In terms of social studies, that just gives me a full-blown access to teaching about patriotism and how to socialize your children, to be good members of society. Right now I'm teaching government to my 4th form class. Yeah, and that's exciting so far. We're learning the different types of government, from a republic to a crown colony to an independent nation. We're having discussions about, Barbados moving into their republic state.
Yes.
So we're discussing the benefits of that. We're discussing, what happens during elections, discussing why, unfortunately, and I asked the question initially, the majority of my students said that they don't plan to vote.
Oh, no.
Because they're in 4th form, so I was like, how old are you guys? They're like 16, which means next local election, at least half of them probably eligible. So my goal is that by the end of this topic, that number changes to about at least 95%.
Yes.
So we're talking about why government is important, why participating in the electoral process is important, how you challenge governments in a respectful way, how you advocate for social issues. We have to come up with strategies. Well, a key part of any social studies topic, you always have to go into now strategies to deal with these issues. And so it's really just, it builds into nation building.
Yes, the channel's right there. And I think, like you said, the social studies, especially in all subjects, because for history, I think an important part of knowing who we are is going to be able to take us to where we need to go.
Right.
And sometimes, you reflect on but the passion, children don't have that passion for history and the social sciences as much.
We're trying.
And yes, but I feel the passion from you, and so I wanted to let you know, in case it hasn't come across your desk yet, or you have noted it yet. We are in a curriculum reform enhancement process. Very, very important part of the process is change management, but that's not what the announcement is. It actually is. I think this will really play in with your passions and your interest, that when we're finished with the process, there will be a compulsory subject at the secondary school that is required for graduation.
Right.
And that subject is called St. Kitts and Nevis history.
Awesome.
And so St. Kitts and Nevis studies. And so we're going to not look slowly at the history, but the economic and all the things that you look at in the Caribbean context. But one of the resounding pleas during the consultations in 2019 from the students,
Right.
the parents, yes, the teachers, yes, but from the students, was that they're not getting enough of who we are as a people from school.
Exactly, like the curriculum. When you look at my history curriculum,
You have to make
it's
six.
like I have to actively chuck us in there, because that curriculum is built around places like Trinidad, Barbados, Jamaica, and we're just small, so small in size, but we're big in everything else. So I have to make sure that we get into our syllabus. But I would love to see that program, that it's all about St. Kitts and Nevis, be implemented. I did Trinidad and history course. Imagine that. And I'm not getting to see the same thing happening in St. Kitts and Nevis. So excellent initiative.
And then the second thing that will make you happy is that we're piloting the grades 4 and 6 right now. Change management once again. And so for some persons, you might hear from time to time, oh, it's difficult, oh, it's tough, oh, it's hard. Change is always hard.
Right.
And we are going to try our best to support the teachers to make sure that, they can get it. But an important part of that, even when we go into Observe and when the teachers are writing lesson plans, is that we are asking everyone to make a deliberate attempt in each concept, in each topic, to integrate some element of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
And so if you're doing a math lesson, how can you make a connection? So when person's going to Observe, whether it be the principal, a class member of the management team, or someone from the education department, or somebody from St. Kitts from the curriculum development unit, we're looking to see how many of the lessons have some form of love for country
Right.
integrated into the class. So we're not thinking
Good
about
stuff.
like solely go do math. How does this math help me in Nevis?
In- right,
St. Kitts
okay.
Nevis. How does it help to contribute to the development of the country, and how does it make me a resident of St. Kitts and Nevis who's proud about the culture and history and who we are? So that has been infused, and the thinking behind it. It's right there. No new process is always, you know,
Yeah, you have
perfect or
some
embrace. You're going to have
speed
some
bumps.
kinks and speed bumps, but over the next 5 years, I'm seeing that we're going to get closer to what we've been asking for a long time.
Looking
And an
forward to
important part of it is we went through the consultations and we looked for what the question was. The key question was, what would make the ideal resident? What characteristics would make the ideal resident of St. Kitts and Nevis?
Right.
What do you want all students who exit the school system to feel and think and know about St. Kitts and Nevis? And that is what shaped the new curriculum process.
Okay.
And so, as I said, as we're talking about patriotism, so there was a gap over the years.
Yes.
And the students were passionate, as I said, about it. And as I speak with you, I'm seeing that same sense of passion as well, that we sometimes, in trying to teach all the content, we forgot us.
Right, because even for history, as I was saying, like I personally feel like first and second form history should be St. Kitts and Nevis history, because we go into the Caribbean history
For
in
CXC.
third form for CXC, third form up, we're full blown into that. So we really do have room in first and second form to just make it about us.
And the new curriculum, interestingly, is not going to be CXC focused. The students will be able to do CXC based on the content, and they could do any exam.
Right.
But the focus is, once again, our product. I know when I worked in the US, for example, it was always about, in Texas, everything was about Texas. You have a math question, it's about Texas.
Right.
If you have a composition to write, something in there has to do with Texas. I mean, everything, it was just embedded in who you are and every element of the curriculum. And so as we do this, we're also trying to get the children to see there are countries out there, there are other countries out there, but we want when we go anywhere across the region, across the world, that we have that same sense of pride that you see.
Yes.
I see with the Jamaicans.
Right.
You go onto a tour bus in Jamaica and you feel Jamaica, you know? You go into a hotel or down the street, or you feel it. And so that's one important
That was
thing.
me in Trinidad for school. You know, few people knew about St. Kitts, but whew, I'm not even sure if I met anybody that from the country itself that, you know, understood that Nevis existed. Well, I was a walking representation of Nevis. By the time I left there, I know Nevis was known on campus because at all the campus events, you know, we come together at the beginning of the year. I'm always up front, row and center. I'm doing the performance for St. Kitts and Nevis. And you know, Nevis will be heard. I will say I'm from St. Kitts and Nevis, but if you chop off the Nevis, I'm like, nope, to be exact, Nevis, but St. Kitts and Nevis, we love the Federation.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so that's what we want. We want when you go out there that you're not ashamed of, that you wear your country with pride,
Yes.
but the country has to be something that we are proud of as well. And the
Yes.
only way that can happen is if we all positively contribute.
Yes, we have
to
to
its
shape it. We
development.
can't sit around and be like, well, government isn't doing... Like, if you have a garbage bin turned over in your neighborhood, I mean, are you really going to sit around and say, well, government is not taking care of this? Just gather two people and
Turn it over.
do the job. We understand that governments need to do their job too, but as citizens in a country, some jobs we can do because we are the government.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I think it is, and I think that it's important that we make sure that people understand that, especially our students, because you know when you see it's going a little off, we have to pull it back, and so we have to make sure that we're getting that idea across.
I hope some community service is in that new course. That should
Yes,
be a
it is.
requirement.
It is.
Okay,
it is,
that
it
would
is,
be a
it
nice
is.
requirement
It
in
is,
there.
I think there are 50 hours in the course, some of which have to be done, which are aligned with the content,
Right.
and some will be free choice.
Okay.
So that is
Yes, it's
And
excellent. You have
perhaps I'm
to.
already writing your name down to make sure that you're part of the team.
Of course.
Working on it.
Sure
to
thing.
make sure it is shaped into something that, as I said, you're proud of. You're
Yeah.
proud of.
You have to. You have to build that pride in conditioning works, you know. Yeah. Just a little side story. Yesterday, I'm in a store. I need a snack. I'm looking at the chocolate bars to decide which one. I grab a Snicker because why? In my head, I'm just hearing the ad, hungry, grab a Snicker.
Yeah.
So conditioning works. We have to condition our children to love, be patriotic, understand that it's their job, their responsibility to give back. These are the benefits you get for being a citizen. Now, these are your responsibilities. You can't have rights without responsibilities.
Exactly. And so sometimes we spend a lot of time as parents and as the community reinforcing and repeating all of the rights that children
Right.
have, but a lot of times we forget to remind them of their responsibility. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers via Vaughn Radio's Facebook and YouTube channels, and welcome to another edition of Youth on the Go here on Vaughn Radio. I am Zanola Claxton from the Department of Education, and I have with me in the studio a teacher, but that's not why she's here. But we have Miss Janelle Merville, Janelle Nisbet, in the studio. She is the recipient of the Department of Youth Impact 12 Award, and in the area of patriotism. And so we want to commend you. And Janelle, is there anyone who you would like to thank? We've had a nice chat about patriotism and what we can do, and I'm hoping our children listening and our adults as well would have learned something this morning. But is there anyone you would like to say good morning to, or say thank you to, or any encouragement?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to make a shout out to the Department of Youth for putting on this program and recognizing that young people are actively contributing to the nation's development in different areas. So kudos to them. It's an excellent program. I'm excited to be a part of it, and any advocacy that is going to happen going forward through this department, I'm excited and I'm ready for it. So once again, shout out to the Department of Youth. Shout out to the entire country. I'm here for patriotism, and the entire country helped to shape who I am today. I went to St. Thomas's Preschool, St. Thomas's Primary School. Those are who was shaped who I am. The community of Jessup's Village where I grew up. That is how I know that I'm a part of something bigger. I'm just one moving part in something bigger, and I have to keep moving in order to keep the wheels turning. So thank the community, thank the country, thank my mother, of course. My mother is like my rock, Lana Nisbet. So she's excellent support of everything I'm doing. I'm a busybody, and she's always right there. Go for it.
Yes, and I think I think that last point highlights another point, that parents need to support children in their positive endeavors and activities.
Even if they deviate from what you did or what you had in mind for them, just support. Once it's positive, support.
All right, and so to follow up, we know that the nominations for the Education and Lifelong Learning, that process closed already. That would have been the next area of award for the Department of Youth program. And so the upcoming nominations are now open for the areas of safety, security, and protection. So I guess we're looking at persons who are probably doing some work in either law enforcement or security guards or anywhere in customs.
Disaster management. We're dealing with COVID right now.
Health and anything along that line. So commendations there. And then December is volunteerism, and we know that I think International Volunteerism Day is December 5th. So we definitely are looking out for persons. And the nomination process closes on October 23rd, 2020, and you can visit the Department of Youth's office to collect your form and nominate that outstanding young person as well. And so before we leave, though, we have an important announcement to make, and it is no better place, there's no better place or time, because we have a teacher in our presence.
Of course.
Monday is
World Teachers Day!
Okay, Monday is World Teachers Day, and we want to just let all of the teachers know how much we appreciate them, and we're also encouraging all parents to get your children involved in showing appreciation to their teachers. The teachers have to work so hard, and anyone who interacts with our children, they have to work hard. And so you don't see what's happening behind the scenes. You don't see the fact that they're movers and shakers and they're molders. They're not just there teaching them, math or social studies or history, but they're there molding them and encouraging them to be patriotic, to be kind at the core of who they are, to be respectful and polite. And so the teachers are a very important part of the process of the development of our nation. And on Monday, we get the chance to celebrate them. And so at the Department of Education, we decided to coin a Teacher Appreciation Week. We know that economically it's hard, and so we can't buy big things, and teachers understand that. But we just want all teachers to know we appreciate them. And so parents, listen up. Everybody in the community, listen up, because we've coined a week in which we're going to highlight our teachers to make sure that they know that we love them. And so on Monday, it's Make a Card Monday. Celebrate your teacher by creating a homemade card with words of appreciation. Tuesday, Treat or Token Tuesday. Gift your teacher with a token or treat to say thanks for making learning so sweet. Right? On Wednesday, it's Worthwhile Wednesday. It's no surprise that you have an incredible teacher. Surprise your teacher with supplies they may need for the classroom.
We need it.
All right. On Thursday, it's Tribute Thursday. Honor your teacher with a poem, drawing, or video to show how they made a difference in your life. Make your parents, you can participate as well. And on October 9th, we have Fantastic Friday. And teachers always go the extra mile for their students. Now it's your time to perform an act of kindness for your teachers. And we know that students, your teachers' biggest fans. Let them know on this Fantastic Friday. Participation in the Teacher Appreciation Week is, of course, optional if you don't have. But I think it's a good way to really embed the importance of appreciating people into our students. So students are free to choose which themed day or days they will participate in. So you might do Make a Card Monday, and then you come back and do Tribute Thursday. That's fine. You might really push your children to do every day, but at the end of the week, our teachers need to feel some love from our students and from the general community. So please, we're encouraging you to participate. Make a Card Monday, Treat or Token Tuesday, Worthwhile Wednesday, Tribute Thursday, Fantastic Friday. And so we want to once again thank all of our teachers for their hard work, their dedication, and let me tell you, I know you know, but this school term has been a different school term. It has been. We've had to tighten in every area, trying to not only protect our children as we always have, but now to try to protect our children in a physical space in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the knowledge that it's a learning curve that is so steep, and after having a few months of not having any physical contact, parents, I think this Teacher Appreciation Month and this Teacher Appreciation Week should be one with a major difference, because teachers are really, really, really going the extra mile, ensuring that they get as much academically covered, but with all of the other protocols, and they have to extend themselves as individuals a lot more. So please participate in the Teacher Appreciation Week if you can. As I said, it's low cost, but at the end of the day, it shows children that highlighting and appreciating those who are contributing to their lives is important. I think at the essence and core of who we are as citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis, and as patriots, as patriotic people, is the appreciation, showing appreciation for persons who are kind and saying thank you. And no better way to say thank you than to choose one of these days. I'm going to quickly run through them again. Make a card Monday. So on Monday, so this weekend, you spend a few minutes, you make a card for your teacher. Celebrate your teacher by creating a homemade card with words of appreciation.
We'd love it.
I know. And can you imagine if you and you don't need this extra supplies? Most of your backpacks have the supplies.
Yes, we don't even care. We're simple. If you just fold a white paper, put some words in there, and just appreciate your teachers. Like, they'd feel better about their day. They'd know that they're making an impact. Some days we're not sure, but we keep going. So just encourage your children to, support their teachers the way that their teachers support them.
Yes, wonderful. And then Treat or Token Tuesday. In case any of Ms. Nisbet's students are listening, I think you can get her a Snicker bar.
Yes, I like Snickers. I bribe you guys all the time.
But Treat or Token Tuesday, anything that can say thank you, any little treat that I know teachers would appreciate. Worthwhile Wednesday. I like this. It's no supplies. We're playing on words here. It's no supplies that you have an incredible teacher. Surprise your teacher with supplies they may need for the classroom, and it could be some
whiteboard markers, pens, some full leaf. They will go right back into you.
Yes.
All the way back into you.
Yes, definitely. Tribute Thursday, a video, drawing, or poem to show how much you appreciate your teacher and communicating how much of a difference your teacher is making in your lives. And parents, you can jump in on this day, do a video, upload it to Facebook, share it out to the teacher, share it to the school's Facebook page, just to let teachers know how much you appreciate them. And then Fantastic Friday. Teachers are always go the extra mile for their students. Now it's your time to perform an act of kindness to show them that you really appreciate them and that you are their biggest fans. Because parents, you know as well as I know, if you have a child in your house and you're trying to tell them this is not the way, teacher says that's the way, so that's the way. The students are always the teacher's biggest fans, and so we're going to make sure we have a fantastic Friday. And participation in the day's activities, in the week's activities, of course, is optional. However, students are free to choose any day or all of the days to participate in. I don't think it will take too much out of any of us to say thank you to our teachers who were there for us during COVID-19 lockdown, who are there for us now, trying to make sure that we are learning and growing and developing into model citizens. So thank you so much for being here and for being patriotic and for really making a contribution and being right up there in the high list of nation builders in our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Ms. Claxton, for having me. It's always a pleasure. Invite me more often. I'm happy to come and sit in with you and chit-chat about just about anything.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Nisbet. And to all of our listeners, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Woo!
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's you.